Hey, you know I have a Twitch, right? I stream every day during these times, and I'm very lonely, bro. And I take all kinds of video requests. So I'd be happy to see you there, link in the description. Unnerving encounters on roads at night. Alright, let's see if this is actually scary, or if this is just, like, fraudulent horror.
At around 7:40 p.m., an Australian man named Mitch Cooney was driving down the Hume Highway in Bardia, Australia. He was returning from a racing event and heading home to Gold Coast City when, completely out of nowhere, he saw a childlike figure standing in the middle of the road. Completely out of nowhere, he saw a childlike figure standing in the middle of the road. The figure was wearing a blue parka, and from the few seconds he was in view, it looked like he was trying to cross the highway. Now, Mitch was driving at nearly 60 miles an hour, or around 96 kilometers per hour. He was also towing
Okay, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, here's the thing. As unbelievable as some things may seem, trust me, they happen, alright? Like, as unbelievable as it may seem, I promise you, some kid just ended up on the highway. Like, I don't know how, alright? There are a few different reasons how it could have happened. Some very random or specific reasons, but yes, bro, it's some child out on the road. Like, that's just what it is, bro. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the child is doing. That I don't know, but it is a child, bro. It's not a malevolent entity.
large toy hauler behind his car. Trying to brake or suddenly move out of the way in these conditions would have certainly resulted in a devastating accident, so Mitch had no choice but to keep driving. Fortunately, he managed to avoid the mysterious figure by mere inches. Fearing the safety of a potential child wandering the Hume Highway, his mother, who was also with him at the time, contacted the Australian police almost seconds later. The officers online assured them that they were putting patrols out immediately. However, Mitch couldn't stop thinking about what he saw. Trying to do everything he could, he called the police again at 8:29 p.m. and offered the dashcam footage he'd captured of this figure. But to Mitch's surprise, the officers told him that they swept the area and actually found a young child matching the description he provided, and that he was being returned to his home as they spoke. What a child was doing in the middle of a highway at night, miles from the nearest civilization, was still a big mystery.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I get it. It's weird, but I assure you that it is a child, bro. It is not a malevolent... I've said this twice now. It is not a malevolent entity, alright? I don't know how the... Because here's the thing, right? Whatever this is, it's obviously some kind of blue blanket or something that the child is walking around with. I mean, is it really unheard of that children just go missing and then just end up on, like, weird roads? I feel like that's not too crazy. It is very far-fetched, but it's not too crazy. Like, it does happen, alright? On a planet with 8 billion people, one of them is gonna do something weird, alright? You can definitely count on that.
At least he was safe now. As Mitch put it on Facebook later that night, I felt absolutely sick when all this happened. I instantly felt so much better when I was told the kid had been collected. However, just when Mitch thought everything worked out okay,
What?
things took a wild turn. After confirming that the kid was safe, Mitch uploaded the video from his dashcam onto the internet, hoping to share the unnerving encounter he had with others.
The kid's gonna say that's not him.
But as the video and his story gained traction, the New South Wales Police Department came forward and announced that they didn't find any child on the highway that night, completely contradicting what they had told Mitch that night.
Okay, well,
According
same
to
thing.
the official report,
Same thing,
they
bro.
scoured the surrounding area for nearly 8 hours, searching until 3:45 a.m. before finally calling it off and finding no trace of a child nearby. The department
Same
stated
thing,
that
bro.
multiple cars attended and commenced a search of the area. However, no child was located and the search concluded. Now, there's no reason to believe that the NSW police would lie on an official report like this. What's more likely is that the person talking to Mitch earlier didn't know the full details and just made things up. Or maybe it was nothing more than a terrible case of miscommunication, where the police searching for the child somehow got twisted into them already having found him. But if the child was never found, what happened to him? The answer to that question, however, could be anything. Maybe its parents noticed their kid missing and took him back home, or he could have been potentially kidnapped by someone who saw a child roaming the highway alone at night and took advantage of the opportunity.
I feel like that's the scariest part of this whole situation, is what happened to him afterwards. Because if it is a kid, which come on, man, obviously, right? Then yeah, bro, what happened to him? Did he just die? Is he just dead now? Like, bro, like, did he just get Like, here's also another thing, bro. This is a fucking highway, alright? There are cars behind you. How is nobody stopping? See, you have to pay attention to detail. Think about that for a second, alright? Logically fucking speaking, there should be cars behind him that should, like, notice and pick up on this stuff. Am I wrong?
Opportunity, though none of those theories explain how the child got to that spot in the first place. Unfortunately, the case remains an unsolved mystery to this day, and with so little coverage, it's unlikely we'll get answers anytime soon.
Vill du veta hur mycket din bil är värd? Inga problem. Det ordnar vi köperdinbil.se. Skriv bara...
It's just, I don't even crash out when ads pop up anymore. I just fucking moan, bro. Like, I'm just so sick of it.
On May 8th, 2021, TikToker Pissed Pasta, real name Malie Perales, was returning from a night out with her friends and roommates around 2:30 a.m. However, what was supposed to be a fun hangout took a disturbing turn when, while driving down the Packard Drive Northeast Road next to the Rogue River in Belmont, Michigan, one of them spotted a shadowy figure crawling onto the road.
What the f?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f? What the f?
Stop. No.
Stop.
Bro, what do you mean shadowy figure? That's obviously a person.
One of them
Wait.
spotted a shadowy figure crawling onto the
Oh,
road.
it's frustrating that the footage is so bad, bro.
What the f?
Yeah, that's a person. You can see it. Alright, there's the ass crack. There's the shorts. Alright, there's the shirt. Alright, it's obviously a person. Alright. Now, why he's doing this, I don't know. Here's the thing, bro. There is absolutely a possibility that this person is drugged out of their mind and just wandering in a forest, sitting down, doing some kind of ritual. Fully possible. I would believe that. But to claim that it's a shadowy figure is a little bit far-fetched. Like, bro, I can literally see the colors of his clothes, bro.
Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the f? Dude?
Bro.
They were soaked.
After discussing for a bit, the group decided to circle back and check what it was. And this is what they came across.
There she is.
Bro. What the f? See? That was it. That was it.
She's crying.
It looked like a young woman, possibly in her 20s or 30s, sitting on the road while either waving at the car or banging her own head. She was also drenched from head to toe in 48-degree Fahrenheit or about 9 degrees Celsius weather. Malie's group circled back one more time to confirm what they saw, and this time the woman had completely collapsed onto the road. By this point, Malie and her friend...
Bro, the camera quality is so buns, bro. It's so buns, I can't see anything. Like, I can literally see these trees in more detail than this person, bro.
realized that this woman was likely in dire need of medical assistance.
Okay,
But
so here's the
there wa-
question. So did you go out and help her? All right. Here's the thing that I don't understand. I can hear several voices. There are obviously more than one person in the car. Why don't you just go outside? All right. If she goes rogue and starts attacking you, you can overpower her. There's three of you, right? Like, if you were alone, okay, drive away then. But you're literally not even alone. All right. Just go out and see what's up.
was also a chance that this was a setup for a robbery, so they made the smart choice.
But bro, a robbery of what? 3 people? You're still 3 people. I'm sure you're capable, all right? Just do like a 3v3, fight them off, run into the car, like, come on.
And called 911 without getting out of their car. The first
Okay, so they called 911 without getting out of their car, and they're still watching her, I'm assuming. Okay, okay, fine. That's an acceptable response.
responders and the police arrived shortly after and took her to
And to be fair, she could have a knife, or like if this was in America, she could have like a Glock on her or something. So sure enough, maybe the best. Maybe you should stay in the car. Maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong here.
nearby hospital. Malie returned to the spot they found her a few hours later, and it was still wet from the water dripping from her clothes. More importantly, she also found dig marks on the roadside near the river, suggesting that the woman had likely fallen in and swam out onto the road just minutes before Malie's group passed by. After some investigation, the police also found her car parked behind a house near the river. In other words, she most likely fell into the river on the east side and managed to swim all the way across to the other side. Inquiring about her in the Facebook group for this neighborhood also revealed that she had actually interacted with some of the residents earlier that day, though her interactions were unnerving to say the least. Saw this person between Van Dam and Packer Woods around 10:15 p.m. Friday, asked her if she needed help, to which she responded no. Another quote, "There's another report by a guy on Douglas Street in the Westsiders uniforms page who had a similar situation with a woman walking into his home this week. She walked right into someone's house yelling, 'Hello, hello, hello,' then just left.
Alright, yeah,
She was wandering the
mental illness,
backyard
yeah.
too. Though who she was
Simple-
and how she
simple
ended up there is
explanation
still a
everything.
mystery. Over the next few
Here's the
days,
fun thing though. If I was like a few years younger, if I was like 12 or 10 and I was watching this shit, I would be like, oh my god, this is so unexplainable. I wouldn't believe my eyes. I would be like, oh my god, there's no explanation to this. Oh my god, it has to be a ghost. She has to be possessed, right? She has to be possessed, right? Like, and my god, bro. I've really grown, man. Like, there is no... Here's the thing, though, alright? I get that there are some like content creators out there who react to videos like this, and they do give these kind of like, oh, I wonder what this could be kind of reactions. I'm not one of them, alright? I like to debunk things. I really, really like to debunk things, alright? Especially these kind of like scary videos. It's very fun, alright?
she recovered enough to tell investigators that she was from Kalamazoo, a town that's over 60 miles away from where she was found. But she didn't have any memory of ever driving to Belmont, which sounds strange at first, but actually has a surprisingly plausible explanation.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus.
Really?
And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
I'm
But
struggling
getting in
to
the zone
go...
and staying there. That feels more like luck.
You see, this woman was a 20
I'm struggling to focus on the literal ad that you're shoving in my face. Moving on.
8-year-old Chinese student named May, who went missing from Kalamazoo on May 6th, 2 days before she was discovered in Belmont.
Alright, what substance,
going
bro?
missing.
No. What substance? I need to know, bro. What substance, bro? What substance was she on?
Also told her friends that
Cause it is a substance. I'm just playing. Well, look, it either is a substance or it's just like environmental illness. Like, obviously, it's the boring answer, but it's one of those two.
she felt
and
like
I'm
she had a
just wondering which
stalker.
one.
Upon hearing this, missing, she also told her friends that she felt like she had a stalker. Upon hearing this, one of the first theories that comes to mind is that maybe she was kidnapped and then thrown into the river by this stalker. But it's important to note that according to the few witnesses in the police investigation, she drove to Belmont on her own. It's unclear whether this stalker was even real or not. However, the stress of feeling like she was constantly being watched likely messed with her mental state and triggered a dissociative fugue state, which,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, is a mental condition where the person forgets who they are and often starts doing things they otherwise wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Some even go as far as moving to other cities and building new lives before they snap out of the state and come to their senses.
That
What makes this
actually
already
wait, that actually happens? That's insane, bro. Imagine you just build like a whole ass village. Yo, I shouldn't be laughing, but imagine you go crazy, right? You escape from your neighborhood, you go into the woods, you build like a whole ass village, you spend like 5 years living there, and then just all of a sudden you just come to your senses and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? Why did I build this, bro? I need to get back home, man. And just 5 years, boom, just instantly wasted. Just out the window, bro.
Unsettling condition even worse is that the patient usually doesn't remember what they did during that fugue state either, and that's what likely happened to May. She got stressed, went into a fugue state, wandered around in her car for a couple of days, and eventually ended
Like, why is there like a fucking finger painting thing here?
ended up in the river.
That literally looks like an ass. I don't know. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
Fortunately, she was able to come to her senses and swim to the shore before losing her life.
She died?
Her life. She was able to come to her senses and swim to the shore before losing her life.
What? Ugh, sorry. What? I must have missed that. R.I.P., man. Right, that's probably why she couldn't confirm anything. That's why this is a whole big ass speculation, because she passed away, I guess.
Of October 2016, a family in Sheffield, England, went to the
My nose is so stuffy.
Drawbridge pub for a night out.
I'm so
After
sorry
an
for
evening of
pausing.
fun and laughter, they decided to head back home at around midnight. The roads in that area are usually deserted at that hour, so they were already on guard for any robbers or other criminals they might run into on their way back. However, nothing in the world could have prepared them for what they came across just 5 minutes later. Seconds after they rounded the corner to the Grange Mill Lane Road, a man dressed in a clown costume jumped out from the shadows and blocked the road, forcing the driver to stop. He then started waving at the car.
Oh my god, bro. Like, I actually have a question, bro. Can you just run him over? Because here's the thing. This is like another level of just trolling, bro. There's two scenarios, alright? Either the person's trolling or it's mental illness, alright? And I feel like if you're trolling, just, like, leave me alone, bro. I'm not trying to get a part of your fucking joke. And if it's mental illness, are you allowed to drive, to just drive, bro? Like, I don't know, man. Like, laws are so, this is what I don't like about, like, the justice system, alright? And the laws that we have nowadays is, it's so, like, it's trying to, like, be as gentle as possible, like, where it's like, oh, like, self-defense murder is a punishment. Like, bro, come on, man. Just let me run this guy over without consequences. Like, he's obviously not, like, I don't know what he's doing, but it's obviously, like, if I run him over, it's for my own good, bro. To try to save my own life, bro. Surely that's self-defense, man. Like, does he really need to pull out a gun for me to be allowed to run him over? Like, really? It has to go to that level? He's wearing a fucking mask, man. Let me hit him over. Let me run him over.
And as soon as it came to a full stop, he started running towards it while still blocking the path forward.
Man, he is quite the fatty. Holy shit. No, McDonald's must be his breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
When the driver tried to reverse his car and go the other way, the clown started sprinting at full speed. Typically, something like this could be dismissed as just some troll or a YouTuber making a scaring people at night as a clown video, especially given that this was 2016. However, due to an incident that happened just 3 days earlier, the driver of this car had no choice but to assume the worst. You see, on October 9th, at around 8:45 p.m., a man named Simon Chinnery was attacked by a knife-wielding clown in public. Fortunately, the attacker was apprehended before he could do any lethal damage to Simon.
Imagine creating 3D characters faster than ever
I need to
with
hear that
absolute ease. With any look.
Fortunately, the man first. You see, on October 9th, at around 8:45 p.m., a man named Simon Chinnery was attacked by a knife-wielding clown in public. Fortunately, the attacker was apprehended before he could do any lethal damage to Simon. Sadly, Simon still suffered multiple slashes to his right hand, leaving it.
Ain't no fucking... Nah, I feel bad for this guy. Actually, I don't know. Did he lose? It didn't look like he lost any fingertips, which is nice. Because it kind of looked like he lost his like, pinky fingertip, but I think it's just fully bandaged. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I was about to say, like, if you lost legitimate fingertips from that shit, I would be pissed off. I would be so pissed off. I'd be so fucking mad if a dude in a clown mask came up to me and started chopping my fingers off. Like, ain't no fucking way, man. There's no way that's how I lose my fucking limbs. Like, God, bro, just let Dexter Morgan kill me at that point. Like, please.
permanently disfigured to the point of being classified as a disability. What's worse than the attack itself was that it went viral and started a craze of thousands of others trying to imitate the attacker. In some parts of the country, the police departments were receiving as
Oh, wait, right. People are stupid. Damn, I actually forgot? Wait, I actually forgot? That's crazy. Wait, what? Guys, I'm so sorry. I forgot people were stupid for some reason. Alright, nah, it all makes sense. Yeah.
many as 23 reports of people threatening others dressed as clowns per day. And while many of these imitators were nothing more than trolls who had no real intentions of harming others, there were those who took things too far, with some trying to force their way into people's cars and chasing women and children with knives. So for this driver to see a man in a clown costume blocking their car while all this was going on had to be deeply unnerving for him. Their fear became worse when they tried to flee the clown, because it started chasing them like a madman. With no other option, the driver was forced to press the pedal to the
impressed he
metal
can even
and
run,
hope for the
bro.
best, with the clown jumping out of the way at the last second.
Yeah, there we go.
This entire situation could have just as easily ended with the clown losing his
And
life.
here's the thing. Exactly, and here's the thing that's frustrating about this whole situation. If he didn't get out of the way, and he would have gotten hit, and he would have ended up just being a troll, I would be the one responsible, alright? I would be the one who gets the punishment. Ah! Frustrating as hell, man. That's why I don't like going outside nowadays, because it's just like, if some bullshit like this happens, like not a clown person, but like some other person who's trying to like threaten me or just be like a troll, like what do I do? I don't even feel like I can defend myself fully anymore. Because like, they expect you to defend yourself, but they don't expect you to like kill him or severely harm him or disable him. Bro, I'm defending myself. What do you want me to do?
If he had even been a fraction of a second slower to jump away. On the other hand, who knows what the attacker might have done if the driver hadn't sped off. On June 2nd, 2018, one of the officers for Fulshire Police Department in Texas was driving back to the station after his shift, when suddenly he saw the car in front of him swerve onto the next lane to avoid hitting something. But this wasn't a tree branch or an animal. Instead, it was something that looked like the aftermath of either a horrific crime or an accident. A young woman in a blue shirt was lying down horizontally across the road and was completely still, suggesting
Is this TOS?
that she was either unconscious or dead. Maybe someone decided to dump the body in the middle of the road after committing the crime.
Is this TOS?
Fortunately, when the officer walked up to her, she not only responded to him, but even
Okay, no, it's not TOS. She's alive. Alright.
stood up on her own. As it turned out, she had driven her car into the ditch next to the road just minutes earlier. Later tests also discovered an extremely high blood alcohol concentration in her system. Put simply, she was driving under the influence and ended up crashing into the side. The concussion from the accident, combined with her prior intoxication, made her behave extremely irrationally, which is why she walked up to the road and lay down without a care in the world. It's nothing short of a miracle that the car in front of the officer was able to spot and avoid her in time, or she would have ended
Like, why is she lying right there? She wants to get her head run over.
up as nothing more than a cautionary tale about driving under the influence.
Alltid 3 för 2
I
på
don't
Skopunkten.
want shoes!
On the night of February 26, 1946, 25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend Mary Jean were returning to their homes in Texarkana, Texas after watching a movie together. But before they reached the city limits,
Oh, wait, what the hell? Bro, what? This is the 1930s, bro.
Jimmy stopped the car on the side of the road to extend their date for a short while. What neither of them knew, however, was that this little detour would nearly cost them their lives. About 10 minutes after they had stopped, a man came out of the nearby woods and approached the car. He was wearing a white pillowcase over his head with 2 small holes for eyes. The rest of his face was completely hidden from view. He told Jimmy to get out of the car, but Jimmy initially believed that this was a prank of sorts and didn't pay much attention to it. The masked man
Until I was just about to say, until he pulls out his Glock. Oops. Yep, now you gotta get out of the car. And not only that, you're probably gonna get shot anyway.
then pulled out his firearm
Because, I mean, he's wearing, like, a pillowcase as a mask. Like, he's trying to be somebody, bro.
and pointed it towards the couple, stating, "I don't want to kill you, fella. Just do what I say." Understanding the
Let me guess, bro. He gets out of the car and he dies, bro. He gets shot anyway.
gravity of the situation, Jimmy got
I'm betting. No, I'm not gonna bet money on it. There's no one to even bet against. Yeah, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
out of the car as the masked man instructed. As soon as he did, the man swung his weapon at Jimmy's head, knocking him unconscious.
Oh no.
Mary tried.
Oh no, he's gonna get tortured. Oh, that's worse. Yeah, that's worse. Oh, just shoot me at that point. Oh no.
To run away into the woods, but the man caught up and did the same to her.
My nose is so stuffy. Holy shit.
Thankfully, before he could go further, he got spooked by a set of approaching headlights on the nearby road and ran away. Mary immediately ran to the nearest house and asked them to call the police. Jimmy also regained consciousness and hailed down a passing car to ask for help. However, by the time the police arrived on the scene to investigate, the man had vanished without a trace. Jimmy and Marie were taken to the hospital where it was discovered that the strike had fractured Jimmy's skull in multiple places. Fortunately, he was able to recover without any lasting injuries and describe what he remembered from that night. Both he and Mary gave the same statements about the overall build of the masked man, that he was around 6 feet tall and fairly slender. But for some reason, the two couldn't agree on his ethnicity. Jimmy insisted that he was a Caucasian, while Mary stayed adamant that he was of African origin. This contradiction, along with the seemingly unprovoked nature of the incident, led investigators to incorrectly believe the couple knew the man and were simply trying to protect him. What they didn't realize was that while Jimmy and Mary survived to give a description, the next couple wouldn't be as fortunate. About a month later, on March 24th, a man was driving down a secluded road on the outskirts of Texarkana when he noticed a car parked on the road ahead. From a distance, it looked like a young man was sleeping in that car, slumped over on the steering wheel. However, as the driver got closer, he suspected that something wasn't right, so he pulled over to the side and walked up to the other car to try to wake him up, only to come to a scene far more horrific than he could have ever imagined. Put simply, the young man had already passed away long before the driver stumbled across him. He also noticed a woman in the backseat who had sadly suffered the same fate. Police were called to the scene, and they quickly identified the two as Richard Griffin and his girlfriend Polly Ann Moore. Both were killed with shots to the head. Unfortunately,
this guy looks like, I just have to say this, bro. This guy looks like the most 1950s ass guy I've ever seen, bro. This is the most 1950s looking guy I've ever seen.
The evidence investigators were able to gather from the crime scene was a single .32 caliber cartridge. And while they didn't know it at this point, this incident was also the doing of the same man Jimmy and Mary had encountered a month earlier. The police finally made this connection on April 14th when another couple encountered the same man while on an isolated road, and they were killed with a firearm.
Wait, is this the Zodiac Killer? Is this the Zodiac Killer?
The same caliber. News of these three incidents quickly spread through Texarkana, putting all the residents on high alert. Fearing for their safety, most residents stopped driving at night entirely, while the remaining made sure to avoid empty roads at all costs. The masked man was also given the name of the Texarkana Phantom due to his inability to appear and disappear without a trace. And true to his name, he was becoming harder to track with each passing day, even after the FBI got involved. After 2 more months of fruitless searching, one of the investigators noticed that the vehicles were stolen shortly before each incident and were found abandoned not long after. Following this lead led to a man named Ewell Swinney, a car thief with 2 felonies to his name already. His height and build matched what Jimmy and Mary had described earlier. More importantly, when an officer tried to arrest him for the 3rd time for car theft, he claimed that he knew that the officer wanted him for more than stealing cars. Unfortunately, investigators weren't able to find any evidence linking Ewell directly to the 3 haunting road encounters. Luckily, his prior felonies allowed prosecutors to give the harshest punishment for his 3rd theft-related offense and sentenced him to life in prison.
Damn!
That being said, Ewell continued to deny any involvement in the 3 incidents until his end in 1994, leaving the Texarkana Phantom encounters a somewhat unresolved mystery to this day.
Well, I mean, if they stop, most likely he was the one.
5th of January 2024.
Well, damn, what a harsh punishment! My goodness.
A truck driver was driving on a remote stretch of highway in Western Australia when at around 11 p.m., this driver had the most unnerving road encounter of his life. Nearly 62 miles south of Perth, he saw what looked like 2 people dragging something across the highway. They showed up almost out of nowhere, forcing the truck driver to swerve around.
Oh no, they're doing. I don't know. Someone's pulling a body there. Someone is pulling a body there.
them at a dangerous speed. But by the time he stopped the truck and looked back,
Is this also in Australia, bro? What is going on in Australia, bro? Is it really not enough to have the scariest spiders ever and to be just completely isolated from the rest of the world? What is this, bro?
they had already vanished into the surrounding darkness. Which begs the question, what were they dragging and why? Unfortunately, the answer to both these questions is extremely ambiguous. For starters,
Oh, that's two people. No, that's literally two people. Look, one pair of legs, two pairs of legs. And this is a third person, bro.
it's extremely difficult to identify what exactly they were dragging. Going frame by frame, we can see what looks like the
And then there's also two pairs of legs right there.
legs of another person wearing shorts and black shoes. So maybe the two people were trying to hide the primary evidence of their horrific crime. But in motion, it looked more like an animal or something in between. It could even be a life-size
I mean, how come that the cameras are so shitty when it comes to people? I can clearly see the road. I can clearly see these, road markings. I can even see the trees. I can see the grass right here. I can see where the road separates from the grass. But for some reason, I just cannot see how many people this is. I mean, I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, but oh my goodness, bro. And this is also a car light or something. So maybe they're trying to just put the bodies in their trunks or something.
plush, though that doesn't explain its very human-like proportions. Regardless of what it was, however, and equally in
Look at that.
its very human-like proportions. Regardless of what it was, however,
It looks like two people dragging one body.
an equally important question is why two people would drag something across a highway.
Alright.
On September 16th, 2018, an Uber driver from New York shared the terrifying encounter he had with an angry man on Long Island. He was about to complete a ride when, out of nowhere, another car drove past him at a very high speed while barely avoiding a collision. But before the Uber driver could even process what had happened, the other driver slammed on the brakes and parked in the middle of the road, blocking him from moving forward. He then got out of the car, ran over, and started bashing on the windows, telling the Uber driver to get out.
What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. What is that?
What's that?
You blew the fucking right leg. Get the fuck out of the car right now.
Just
not
go,
getting
just
out
go,
of the car.
go. Just go. Go around him. Go.
It's unclear if this was simply unprovoked road rage or an attempt to rob the
Bro, how is...
driver and his
Anyway,
passengers. Not wanting to find out the answer, the Uber driver made the correct decision and backed up to find a different route to his destination. However, there was no way for him to predict just how relentless the other driver would be.
Oh
soon as
my
the-
god, people like this need to die, bro. Just some people need to be... I will say this, I will say this, bro. Some people need to die. Some people need to be genuinely executed by, firing squads. I don't care. Get off his dick. I swear. If this was me, I'm actually slamming my car into yours. I'm slamming my car into yours. Get off my little wee-wee, alright? You are not following me around like this. I'm not taking that. Alright? My patience would be gone. It would be non-existent.
Uber driver changed routes. The other driver got in his car as well and started chasing him no matter where he went. Things went from bad to worse as they approached a red light, which would have given the other driver a chance to catch up and do something terrible before the police arrived. But in a remarkable stroke of luck, the Uber driver found a cop already waiting on the other side of the intersection. They were able to explain the situation to the officers, resulting in the other driver getting arrested for driving while intoxicated.
Stopped the car, got out of the car, was trying to fight with me. So I backed up and turned around, and then he was pursuing me. And these girls,
Call 911.
these girls called 911, and the officer pursued him.
Put simply, the other driver wasn't thinking clearly and could have been armed.
The way he
The
just
Uber driver
runs
had
up,
panicked.
bro. Oh my goodness.
When he first approached, all three of them might have lost their lives.
Alright, W video, bro. Make sure you subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. I'm going to, alright? I'm setting an example right here. And yeah, with that, I think it is a very good time to wrap up stream. 1 hour and 30 minutes.